Aloha and welcome to the PUNAtic Punk Rock Podcast. I am your bearer of bad news. Um, Honestly, I've been kind of dreading doing the podcast because I have to talk about the tragedy on Maui, and I don't know much what to say. I could explain the history of Lahaina. I could explain what's going on right now. I could explain the how the um, fire got out of control, the conspiracy theories that popped up afterwards. Uh, but I don't want to touch on any of it. What I do want to tell you is, if you can, please donate to the relief efforts. Um, the Maui Strong Fund, Maui Food Bank, Aina Momoana, Kaka'o Maui, Hawaii Fire Relief Housing Program. That'll probably be one of the best ones you could probably donate to. Uh, the PWF Ohana Relief Fund, Aloha United Way, American Red Cross of Hawaii. Um, and if you know anybody personally affected, just give them shelter. If you have an extra car, let them use that. Uh, it seems in the relief effort that we have been hotels and Airbnbs have been used to house people, which is great. We house millions of visitors every year. There's no reason why we can't house our population. So, as of right now, uh, what we know of from the Maui wildfire is there is at least 114 people dead. Um, there's still around 850 people missing, and possibly, most likely more. Uh, over over 1,100 people displaced. Uh, over 2,000 buildings destroyed. Well over $5 billion of damage. Um, that's not put like a price tag on anybody's life or anything. That's just what Google. That's just a stat people like to use when coming up with natural disaster damages. Let's do a song, I guess. The song is called "The Black Road" by Jack Harlow and the Dead Crows, off the album Magnetic Ridge from Australia. Uh, After the song, I will, I guess, explain. Um, Should I explain the history of Lahaina or what exactly happened? I guess I'll explain what happened. Anyway, this is Black Road by Jack Harlow and the Dead Crows.
The sun is down inside of me. Ain't no cloud I can see. The river's high as a peregrine. It's felt lower than a creek. Well, it's no one's
That was Jack Harlan and the Dead Crows with Black Road off the album The Magnetic Ridge. Earlier this month, on August 8th, a hurricane passed hundreds of miles south of the Hawaiian Islands. Along with that, there was a high pressure system above north of the Hawaiian Islands. This created uh, very strong wind gusts along with very dry, sunny conditions. Hurricane Dora, the one that passed, pushing over trees and power lines, and it looks like a power line. There are many fires that were created from this. One in Kula, one on the Big Island, uh, Kohala side, but the most significant being one in Lahaina, uh, in the morning of August 8th, with wind gusts peaking at 80 miles an hour. Uh, a fire began and swept through the entire town with amazing speed. Um, Many people had to escape by jumping into the ocean, and many people didn't escape. The whole town was basically leveled. Looks like a war zone, honestly. I mean, without any bullets or anything, but like whole town is destroyed. There are a few structures left, but they're devastating. It's hard to describe. I lived through the 2018 eruptions. My house was destroyed, but it's not like this. Like the the whole town is gone. Their economic engine is gone. And it happened overnight during the eruptions. Many of us lost our homes, but we had plenty of warning. Um, and so most were able to escape. The warning system failed, um, or wasn't triggered, or I don't know. The warning sirens didn't go off. Uh, the Maui authorities have defended the their actions of not setting them off, saying that they were tsunami sirens and that might have caused people to go northward, go inland, go Mauka into the fire instead of towards the ocean, which I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Maybe I don't think people would willingly go into the fire. Um, Maybe the sirens would have woke people up, put them in a panic they needed to get into to get out of there. We may never know. There is no if this is like you're arguing something that never happened. You're saying that if you triggered the alarms, they would have gone in the ocean, but you never did, so there's no proof. So, uh, what we do know is that people panicked, and some people didn't know that there was an emergency because there was no sirens, and probably died because of it. I don't know why you would try to spin any of that. Can't you accept the tragedy? I mean, it's a tragedy. Your role may have played a part in it for not triggering the silence. I don't know why you would try to defend your actions and say it would have been worse. We don't know if it would have been worse. What we do know is was bad. It was really bad. Anyway, that's all I got to say on that. Harrowing footage of people trying to escape these fires, and as it surrounds them, and the people surviving in streams and huddling in buildings that they just hope won't catch on fire. And there have been videos of people have been spinning it as if police were blocking the exits. And from what I've seen, it looked like police were trying to uh, organize traffic to get emergency vehicles in, as is their job. Um, but there are, like many towns on the island, there's only two ways in and out of Lahaina. So trying to get emergency vehicles in through one only leaves the other. I don't think of it as any malicious part. No one tried to set this fire. This is not some sort of Chinese plot. There's no government fucking conspiracy to kill hundreds of their own fucking citizens in this massive fucking tragedy. Uh, it is a warning, though. It is warnings what to expect from the future as the oceans continue to warm and rise. We could expect more and more hurricanes like these, and more fires, especially on the leeward side, the dry side. Lahaina plays a significant role in why these places are even more susceptible to fire than they would be before modern their introduction into modern global economy, Hawaii's introduction to modern global economy, global capitalism. But let's play another song. This is one I played after the destruction of my home. It's called Alien Landscape by the Vacuum.
clues of the alien world, but never found a trace. Some days when I wake up, I still feel something's wrong. Perhaps this isn't our home and we've suspected it all along.
That was Alien Landscape by the Vacuum, um, which is what Lahaina is now. Um, Lahaina has a special place in Hawaii history. Um, there are many Hawaiian kingdoms on Maui, um, place their capital on Lahaina. All Maui, Ko'olave, Molokai, and Lanai are under one kingdom. Sometimes Oahu is under the same kingdom. Sometimes the kingdoms would split apart. Sometimes Maui is split into multiple kingdoms. But Lahaina was always an important economic center. It had many irrigation. It is a wetland, uh, which the Hawaiians would create many irrigation ditches for the taro patches. And it was an agricultural breadbasket for Maui. Uh, and when all the islands were united under Kamehameha, it was for 20 years the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom. And it is here where Hawaii became a modern state. It's where we signed our first treaties. As it was the capital when we signed our first treaties with outside powers, European powers. We gained recognition from the world. Um, it was here we created the first they created the first constitution. We created a constitutional monarchy, a Bill of Rights. We found all the trappings of a modern state. It's also here where we began interacting with global capitalism as such. The first things that was traded in great quantity was sandalwood. Now, under Kamehameha, all the sandalwood was under his control. But with his death, many of the elite took the sandalwood under their domain and sold it to foreigners, many going into a lot of debt, purchasing foreign goods on sandalwood debt, stripping much of the island bare of sandalwood within 20 years. And the sandalwood is a dry forest plant. It thrives in not desert conditions, but a dry condition with access to water, of course. So it was perfect. It grew in abundance on the leeward sides until it became a commodity on the global market, in which it was stripped bare. So this was the first environmental catastrophe that would happen on the leeward side that would lead to to the conditions that make him so fire prone today. That is just the first step. Um, but as the kingdom grew economically, many businesses took shape. Many sugar plantations uh, became the economic hub of Hawaii, and its heart that allowed it more economic independence in the global market. But the economic independence came at the price of empowering uh, a select few wealthy plantation owners, who many were born in Hawaii, yes, but whose allegiance is will prove elsewhere. Um, it's hard to say. Many of them, I think, actually really believed Hawaii was better under U.S. in U.S. control. Many probably just saw it as a business adventure too. It's who would eventually go to overthrow the monarchy and uh, and advocate for its annexation by the United States. They diverted much of the water used that once created the wetlands of Lahaina that made it green. If you go there now, like many of the leeward sides of the islands, brown and black uh, from dried grasses and lava rock and high winds. But before the deforestation, it was green. Before diversion of water for plantations, the land was wet. Uh, and I'll hear many people. I don't know where these statements are coming from, but they keep going, "Oh, you know, with the destructions of the plantations, the end of the plantation, many of the land was taken over by guinea grass brought over for grazing, which is highly flammable and dry." And they'll go, oh, back in plantation time, this would never happen because they watered the plants, the agro, and we don't have these fields of just dry plants. And like, it's a strange thing when like they the previous oppressor, the previous bad is still better than the current bad. And so you look back to how bad it was then and go, well, it wasn't as bad. And like time for that time. I imagine it's put out by people who like, I mean, the Big Five still control much of the propaganda on the islands, the, the newspapers, the shipping, uh, resorts, and they probably have a hand in why this narrative is so prevalent, why we're pining for the plantation times, because they were the ones who had more power then. But it just seems like such a weird thing. I hear it so often on the radio too. It's just a weird thing to come across. Anyway, they didn't help with creating how flammable the conditions are in Lahaina. But when they did, labor finally organized and fought against the Big Five and uh, and brought an end to the sugar plantation of Hawaii. Brought a slow demise, making it unprofitable in the global market by giving their workers an actual pay. It's almost like it shouldn't have existed in the first place because it only exists off of slave labor. But when that was gone, it was replaced by invasive grasses brought in for grazing purposes for cattle ranchers who would use old uh, plantation lands to raise cattle. And they brought in a fast growing grass from Africa called guinea grass, which fed the cattle well, but also outcompeted everything. Um, Trying to kill it is a nightmare. What you got to do is basically put a tarp over it and choke it out for months, and sometimes that doesn't even fucking kill it. Um, it doesn't die, but in dry conditions such as the leeward sides, um, it dries out. It very very flammable. If any kind of spark can start a wildfire, and the high winds, uh, a history of colonization and capitalist exploitation, and and then more water being diverted, of course, to resorts and golf courses. So on top of this now dry land, you got islands of green where the water is being polluted to. Uh, and because of Lahaina's history, much of the structures were made of wood, the historical structures anyway. Um, Actually, most of the structures were made of wood. It just, when the spark hit, the tender was ready. That's that's when people say that this is a product of colonialism and and capitalism. This is what they mean. Colonial and capitalism created the tender for when the spark hit, for it all to go up in flames. Let's play another song. This is Voice of the People by Demerit from Beijing, which also is going through tragedy at the moment. The whole world's going through tragedies at the moment. This hurricane season is massive. The flooding in Beijing, Hurricane Hillary is currently battering the west coast of the United States. It's anyway, this is Voice of the People by the band Demerit. Voice of the People by Demerit off the album Bastard of the Nation from Beijing, China. Uh, yeah, this year El Nino's hitting hard, and the El Nino combined with the hottest year on record, uh, with Antarctic ice sheets not coming back in its winter. So we will probably see a permanent sea level rise after. It's hard. It's hard to look at the future and not see disaster, death around every corner, especially with the way things are going. We really don't change anything about our lives that have led to this point. And we know what we're doing. We all need our cars because our economic lives depend on the things that are killing the planet. Global capitalism, shipping things across the globe, everybody needing energy, that energy taken from the ground and put into the atmosphere, beginning a global collapse. Well, enough of that. Back to Hawaii. It seems, well, some people just can't, like, just want to blame things that are um, much more simpler than environmental collapse and want to blame Oprah. Oprah. It's all Oprah's fault. Fucking A. That's right. It's Oprah's fault. Because her mansions were untouched, you know? Yeah. And not because, they are made with modern materials, um, with no expense spared, with clear lines defining the outside of her property with the house, giving it plenty of space to. She obviously set the fire to quickly buy up the land. As this many probably true stories of people trying to quickly buy up the land after such a disaster because Hawaii's paradise, bourgeois paradise. And if you do well enough in the rat race of capitalism, you could come here and enjoy the pretty lands, the beautiful sun all day, every day, blue skies, pristine beaches, beautiful women. Just what you've always wanted, just what you thought death was like. Heaven, paradise. Oh, I'm putting so much carbon into the air just getting here that could power a village in Latin America for a year. Probably more than that, honestly. I'm lowballing it. I don't actually have the calculations on it, but I remember it was quite a large amount of energy. And every day, just so you could feel like you died and gone to heaven when that environment was twisted and manipulated to fit your version of paradise, which will become our living inferno. Anyway, yeah, it seems to be like the government has tried to put a moratorium on anybody trying to buy land in Lahaina, which is good, but that probably won't stop like people trying to make a quick buck and get land, which will definitely go up in value because we live in paradise. God, I hate that term. This is just the beginning. This is a warning of things to come, things that we might have felt sheltered from being so far from the mainland, so far from anything. You see droughts and heat waves on the mainland. And go, damn, I'm glad I don't live there. And just feel so isolated sometimes. Uh, yeah, as an example, we are not separate from the system. We are part of the global system, and it will affect us whether we like it or not. So I guess we best prepare for a world of more fire, higher winds, um, more extreme. Before we go, I'd like to thank anybody who donated to the relief effort. We go through a number of the places you could donate. And then again, if you know anybody who's been affected by these wildfires, uh, just give them a place to stay. If you have an extra car, let them use it. Let them get back on their feet. They don't want to handouts. Nobody wants to take handouts. What they want is the ability to get back on their own feet. And by giving them a place to stay, in a way to, um, get around, will do wonders. Uh, Beyond that, you could give to the Maui Strong Fund, uh, the Maui Food Bank, Aina Momona, Kako'o Maui, Hawaii Fire Relief Housing Program, PWF Ohana Relief Fund, the Hawaii State Teachers Association, the Aloha United Way, the American Red Cross of Hawaii. And please do not visit Lahaina. We don't want no disaster tourists. It's unfortunate that eventually we will need tourists to come back to Maui because our economic engine is based on people coming, visiting, and pretending it's paradise. Unless we could quickly shift our means of production, it is what it is. So please refrain from visiting Maui and donate what you can, house who you can. If you're on the mainland dealing with your own hurricane disasters, uh, heat waves, blizzards, it's so hard, you know? The whole world is falling apart. Just take care, everybody. Help each other out. Give aloha, spread aloha. I'll leave you with one last song from a friend of ours. This is from a band called Hot Damn Scandal. The song Hollow Man Shuffle.
like all of my friends. I'm drunk and I'm horny. It has happened before, it'll happen again. I've been waiting forever. I still got no place to go. I've been out 5 days and my money is gone. I ought to find my way back home. If I still have one, close one eye, take your left arm past your right side, sway and cross your feet, reverse and then repeat. You do the hollow, you do the hollow man shuffle. Start the day out with a half bag of wine. I pay for every nickel, beg for every fucking dime. Fight my awareness with a cardboard sign. You can go down your way, I go down mine. I'll be gone, it is written. Might as well poison my every breath. If the whiskey keeps my lids in check, then I'll lay my head to rest. Close one eye, take your left arm past your right side, sway and cross your feet, reverse and then repeat. You do the hollow, you do the hollow man shuffle.
That was The Hollow Man's Shuffle by Hot Damn Scandal on the album Strange Tongues. And again, I'd like, please do whatever you can to help the relief effort. Donate. Again, there's the Maui Strong Fund, Maui Food Bank, Aina Momona, Ka o Maui, Hawaii Fire Relief Housing Program, PWF Ohana Relief Fund, Hawaii State Teachers Association, Aloha United Way, American Red Cross of Hawaii. And, if you could house somebody and give them a ride, that do wonders. Um, Thanks for listening. Mahalo nui loa. Please stay safe, everyone. Fucking Chinese space lasers. Really? Chinese space lasers. The fucking thing is a transformer blowing up. And that picture is from a wildfire in Chile in the 2000 teens.